Hi, welcome to my next secret. I'm very barefaced today. It's unusual that you will see me without anything around my eyes, on my eyebrows, but once again, my whole ethos is telling you about products that really work, and I think I can only prove that to you if I show you on myself. So obviously in these uncertain times and the restrictions that we have within salons, not many of us have been able to go and get our lashes and brows tinted. So Sienna X have come up trumps again, and they're releasing their professional tint, and they've had it accredited to use safely at home. Obviously following the guidance from a professional like myself, you can achieve those salon results. While we're talking safety, I did see something really interesting this morning on Breakfast TV, and it was saying about counterfeit products. I cannot stress enough, be careful where you buy from. Not everyone is a professional or licensed to sell these products. I can 100% guarantee you all my products are 100% genuine and from a professional retail source. Obviously you don't have to buy from me, but if you are buying online, please be careful. Going with the line of safety, something that is vitally important, particularly with our eye area, is that we do patch tests. So this needs to be conducted at least 24 hours before, 24 or 48 hours, and needs to be repeated if it's been a length of time or your personal health situation changes, because our reactions can also change. So I'm going to show you how to do a quick patch test. It's really easy, and here it is for you to follow. Okay, so let's get started with the patch test. I'm going to start with my brows, and for me a good match for my colouring, because I don't want to be too dark. I am naturally quite fair, as you can see. I have got quite long lashes, but they only tend to be dark at the root and then light at the ends, and the same underneath. So a little enhancement with tint makes my life so much easier, especially if I've got my tan on, I've already got definition around my eyes, and I'm good to go. Equally, it also makes it really easy doing your makeup because you've got a really good base in place, and then you just might want to perfect that shape or make it a little bit bigger with makeup trickery, which I'll show you again. Okay, so here's your tint. I'm going with light brown. Okay, obviously make sure that the seal is intact. I'm just going to remove the cap, give it a little push together, and you can feel that seal being broken. Okay, this is a dampen dish, and this is what professionals use to mix the tint. So if you're doing a patch test, you only need to use a small amount. As you can see, it's just coming out there. Don't be afraid of the colour, it will change. Okay, so I'll just pop a little bit more in. So you see I've only got a little bit there. Okay. And then what you do need to do for this to work is add your development cream. Okay, so that's what that looks like. So again, take the top off, and I'm just going to add a couple of drops. 1, 2, depending on how much product you've put in, you can go for a third, but I wouldn't do any more than that. That is plenty. Okay, and then you can give it a little mix together. The tinting brush I like to use, especially if I'm doing it myself, is one like this. And with the kits that I've put together, you'll get one of these with it. It's got a little spoolie, if you can see there, and an angled brush, because I just think if you put your makeup on with an angled brush, particularly your brows, it makes sense to get a neater effect with an angled brush for tinting. Some people prefer to use a smaller tint brush, which I do myself sometimes. It really depends on the area. So all I'm doing is giving that a good mix together, so it's not too runny. You can see that it's sticking to the sides, but I've got a nice little bit of paste forming. Okay, so I'm just going to scrape off the excess. And for your patch test, you can do it inside of your wrist and your elbow. I tend to do it behind the ear because it's quite discreet, so you don't see it, because you've got to keep it on for a minimum of 24 hours, and this is to ensure that you don't have any allergic reactions to it. It is vital that you do this. Okay, so I've just got a little bit of cleanser there, try, well, make sure that you use an oil-free one. I've just got a micellar water that's oil-free. Okay, just a little bit on the brush. Just lift your hair back, and there we go, that's all. It's difficult to see on camera. I'm just going to show you here what I've done on my wrist. I need a bit more product on. That's too much. So there, just a little bit. I probably won't do it on my wrist because you don't want to have that on your wrist for a few days, but it's your choice. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there for 24 hours. Thank you, I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. For the purpose of this video, that has been 24 to 48 hours. Obviously, it's a product that I use all the time and regular on myself, so I know I'm not going to have an allergic reaction to it. If on yourself you were to develop any soreness, itching, redness, discomfort, this isn't for you. And you probably know if you've got hypersensitive skin and allergies that, you know, you'd know the warning signs. So obviously it'd have to be removed, and then take it from there and maybe look at another option. Okay, but for me it's fine, so I'm going to go ahead. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just cleanse over the brow area because I don't want any oil or waxes or makeup on the area. So make sure that that's clean and freshly prepared. Another good tip is using some good old Vaseline or petroleum jelly. You just need a small amount. I tend to use the back of my hand, picking it up with a Q-tip, and then just trace the shape, the outline of your brows, because you don't want any tint to seep into this area, so this will act as a barrier. So it will tint the skin if you've got any patches, which is great, but it will cling better to any brow hair, but it will actually tint your skin as well. So obviously make sure you only put the tint where you want it. Okay, so I've just given myself an idea of an outline. For the purpose of this, again, I'm only going to do one eye so you can see the difference. On yourself, do both evenly and then you're not going to struggle trying to match them up. Okay, so then, obviously you already know how to mix the tints. So you just want to get a small amount of product, just neaten that end up. Just enough to kind of coat the brush, but you've got a little bit of an excess to play with. And then I use the angle of the brush, or if you prefer to use a smaller brush, that's fine. And then as if I was popping makeup on, I'm just going to start stroking through the area. And especially make sure that you get it on your tail, because that is finer and you want to make sure that picks the tint up. Don't worry if you're coming out of your lines a little bit, because you do have time to neaten that up. Okay, so don't worry, you're not going to end up like this. Some of the darker tints can look quite alarming as they're going on, but it is fine, I assure you. Depending on how dense or how strong you want the look to be will be how long you leave it on for. Anything from, I'd say, about 3 minutes to 10 minutes. You don't need longer than that. 10 minutes will make it quite dark. And then with the cotton bud that I use to just do my border with, I'm just gonna go back over that. As you can see, it's neatening it. You can see that? It's neatening the edges up. Okay, so you can see already it's as if I've popped makeup on that brow to that brow, and I'm able to pick up some of the finer hairs that you can't see. So I'm going to let that develop. On me, about 3 minutes is plenty. I only like a hint of colour, but I'll let you see. Okay, so it's been 3 minutes, so I'm just going to check it. Sometimes if I want to go a bit darker, I'll just repeat the process. But I'm just going to show you. I'm using a dry pad to start with, and I'm just removing it. But no, for me, I'm happy with that colour. But you can see the difference already. Compared to that one, it's giving me that lifted shape, and it looks like I've done makeup. Obviously, to help with that, if I wanted a more pronounced look, it's dead easy to just use your eyebrow pencil or your powder, whichever you prefer, and you can just, there's your guide to follow, and you can just sharpen those corners up. So yeah, I've used a dry piece, and now I've just got some clean water, and I'm just going to wipe that over as well. Okay, so that's that. Obviously you do them both together so they're nice and even, but I just want to obviously show you the difference. Okay, so I'm now going to move on to tinting my lashes. Again, I'm only going to do this half so we can compare the difference. If you've had your lashes done before, most professionals will tell you if you want to achieve a really rich black dark colour, you're better to have blue black. Don't be afraid of this, you will not see blue, it's just a very, very rich black. So that is my go-to colour. So you use the same principle as you did when you mix the brow tint. Except this time you're probably going to need a little bit more product. So as a guide, I'd say about a 2 centimetre amount of product. Again, into your dampen dish, which you can use the same one, I've just wiped mine out. I pierced the top so it's ready to go, and I'm just going to squirt out about 2 centimetres. So there we go, in there. And now I'm going to add my developer again to make it work. So because I've put a little bit more product in, I need a little bit more developer. So with 2 centimetres, you need about 7 drops. Because it's quite thick, the consistency, it's really easy to control. Okay, so give it a little squeeze till you see the product come to the end. And there you can see it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's in there together. Keep your lids back on. Okay, and then you can just give it a little stir. They actually do come with these little ones that are quite handy. I personally like using my brush, but it's a personal preference. Okay, so in I go. Give it a little mix till it's an even consistency. Now the colour of this, you can see the blueness in it. It looks a little bit like a bluey grey colour. Okay, so when you're happy with that, just pop it to the side. And we're going to start prepping the eye area because we don't want to just put tint everywhere. Okay, so cleanse again, make sure you don't use anything with oil in it because that again will act as a barrier. So you want to obviously always be gentle with your eyes. I haven't got any eye makeup on, only use one piece for one eye. You can use multiple pieces but don't use the same piece on the other eye, that's what I was meant to say. Okay. Okay, so that's all off there. And then, again, the good old petroleum jelly. I'm just going to go along the lash line, not on the lashes. And then, be really careful. You might need to stir a little bit like what you do when you're putting your mascara on. And then I just bring that underneath. You don't want too much, but it will just prevent, if your eyes water a little bit, it will just stop the tint running. And then you get these in the kit as well, and they're just like an under eye protector. Okay, just going to peel the back off like that, and then the other bit. Probably easier if you just look up like that. You can adjust it when it's on, and it just gives you that added protection of not colouring any skin. They are a really tight fit, but they can peel away quite easily if you want to adjust them. Okay. So I'm going to show you an eye at a time, obviously. but if someone was helping you with this, you'd prep both eyes and then close your eyes and then apply the product on top. I'm going to show you two ways, because obviously if you're doing this to yourself, it's difficult to do with both eyes shut. So again, I'm using my tint brush and all I'm doing is painting down the lashes. You can carry a little bit more product if you can keep your eyes shut, but obviously I'm going to be opening mine, so if you do by accident get a little bit in your eye, don't panic. It might be a little bit stingy, but your water will naturally start to flush it away. Obviously anything that's really sore, just wash it all away. Okay, so you can see already it's picking up my lashes. So I'm painting down, I'm going to get a little bit more. But as you paint down, if they are properly closed, it also picks up your little lashes underneath. Okay. But what I find really helpful, I'll just show you. It is a little bit more tricky doing yourself, but it is achievable. Just don't get it anywhere near your eye because it does stink. Another advantage of this great little tool is it's only got a little head on it there, a little spoolie. I sometimes pick up the product. I'm getting on my hand there, so be careful of that. And I actually do that like I'm popping mascara on. And that, for me, is so easy doing it that way. But again, everyone has their own little preference. Just make sure it's, as you can see, the lash pad is really serving its purpose there. And make sure you get a really good generous amount. Don't worry if you've caught your skin at the back a little bit. We can tidy that up like what we did with the brows. Okay. So you can also, as you can see there, a little bit on my finger as I was picking it up. With the kit comes a tint, a remover. I'll show you that shortly. Okay. So I'm just going to neaten up that area there. Just gentle, because I don't want to take it off my lashes. I just don't want to have it on my skin. Okay, so I've coated my lashes. So all I need to do is wait 10 minutes now, like what I did before, and then I will just wipe it away. Again, if you were doing this and someone was helping you at home, you might be able to rope your other half in, or even if you've got obviously a responsible grown-up child in the house, might be mother and daughter or even mother and son, you can actually just lie there really peacefully for 10 minutes and have a well-deserved break. Keep your eyes shut because there's probably going to be more product on there and it'll be more difficult to open, and then you'll be good to go. See you shortly. Okay, as it's developing, you might see, like mine, where my eyes water a little bit, it can pool a little bit darker there. Absolutely fine, do not worry. This will not stain because we've got the protection and we've also got the petroleum jelly underneath, so when you wipe it away it'll be fine. So this is the product that I was going to show you before, the Tint Stain Remover. Really effective product. If you do get any slight mishaps and you've maybe dropped a little bit on your cheek or dotted a little bit here without realising, for the purpose, or on your hand like when I was flipping mine round, I'm just going to show you a little bit there. So if I have accident like I did before, put some on my finger, just let it soak in a bit as if it's starting to develop. The sooner you can remove it the better. And then let's just check it's stained a little bit. You can see that there, I'm wiping it away. You can still see it there on my hand. So I just get a little bit of this, it's a clear liquid, and a cotton pad. Or you could put it straight on a Q-tip and just do the area you need to adjust. So it's there, as you can see. Give it a little rub. And it's gone. Okay, so it's a really handy extra in the kit. And then just wipe it over with some water or fresh cotton woolen makeup remover, micellar water, that type of thing. Just make sure you've not got any of the residue left. Okay, see you shortly. Time's ticking. Okay, it's been 10 minutes, so I'm ready to remove. To start with, I like to use something dry like these Q-tips and a cotton pad just to take off the excess product. And then I usually have like a little sandwich bag, something nearby, so I can just, you can see it's coming off there. Pop any dirty items in there so I'm not tempted to drop them on the floor. Okay, so that's coming off. I'm just going to use a dry pad, and the reason I'm using it dry at first is because I don't want any water to seep the tint into my eye. Oh, get me back into focus. So be gentle, remember, because it's really delicate, the skin around the eye area. I can see already that's gone dark. Okay. Now I'm gonna, got a little bowl of water, just squeeze out any excess on the cotton pad. Press down and then wipe across. Okay, so I'm getting most of it off there, and then as this is getting a little bit wetter, it just helps to remove it. Okay, just be careful. That's it, let's come away. Excuse, I do look quite rough with no face makeup on this side, but I've not got any stingy eyes. Why do we always pull that face? And I've got darker lashes. Okay, so you can obviously see a difference in my face with no makeup on that side. But I've got the definition, it's giving me an extra lift, and it'd make it super easy now. If I do put my falsy lashes on, I don't even need mascara, I can just pop them on top and away I go. So I'm just going to carry on checking this area till it runs clear on the cotton pad, and then I know I've not got any residue left on. So I'll be with you shortly. Okay, so I'm back. The only thing that I've done is just even up a little bit to match this side so you can see the true difference. If I do this, so there, it looks like I've got eye makeup on and I've done my brows, which I haven't, it's just tint. To that side, that's a bit scarier. There you can go, you can see down the middle there. So yeah, and just to prove I haven't got mascara on, I'm going to dip this in water. There you go, so it's a clean cotton bud. I'm going to wipe it like this. And there you go. Absolutely white still. So yeah, so it's done. It's great for holidays, it's great if you're a mum on the run or just generally very busy and don't have time to do the whole works every day, or to just enhance yourself, because sometimes I don't want to wear makeup all the time, but it makes me feel a little bit more human when I've got some definition. So I'll just show you. So in the little kit that you get, so you can shake it up to suit your needs. You might want both to be able to have the choice of doing both. You should get about 30 applications out of each one, so another cost-effective product. I've popped you some eye shields in there so you can easily protect under your eyes. You've got the development cream, the remover, just in case, the dampen dish, which is a professional one, the snazzy brush that I like using. So you've got the angled side and the small spoolie side there. And obviously it's your choice what tints you'd like. There'll be different packages available. You might want them all. you might just want one, that's fine. I'll detail all that separately. So the one I used, which is a light brown, is there, the Sienna X 3.1. If you want to go a bit darker, then it's their brown range, and this is probably a cooler shade, but you do get that greater intensity. Even if you're very dark and you've got almost black hair, this can still be a warmer option rather than going for a very cool black, which can look very severe. Most of my clients prefer to do this, and then if they wanted to look darker, they'd add a bit more makeup, because without makeup, black can look very severe, but it's personal preference. And then the blue black lashes. I don't think I've ever been asked to put black on someone as lashes, because the blue black is just so much nicer. And as you can see, it isn't blue when it's on. So yeah, that's that. So obviously it's your choice. It comes in a nice little bag with a ribbon. And that's good to go. So I'm going to leave you there because I need to even up this side so I look a little bit more human when you see me out and about. So take care. Thank you.